And just seeing him just fucking running toward a man that's holding a machine gun, clocking him in the face, and then unjamming it, and then ba 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 ba, fucking spatial awareness of where all his threats are, hides behind the car, dude. He's holding an M4 or like an M10 or something. And it was just like, dude, I felt more of a man as I was watching that. And I was like, yeah, dude, fucking yeah, dude. What's up? What's going on? Welcome back to the Pupil's Life. What's going on, man? It's the Pupil's Life. It's episode fucking 94, I think. Getting close to the 100. And it's, dude, it's weird to think about a time before I did the podcast. People say that you should like have a diary or just like somewhere where you fucking god damn, had to get something in my throat right before the show. People say that you should have like a diary or just somewhere to check in with yourself and sort of fuck, dude. Like write down what's been going on and somewhere that you can look back and see who the fuck were you a year or 2 or 3 or 4 ago. And I haven't gone back and listened to any of the first podcasts or the older episodes, but I just from memory, it is very it's very difficult to, not difficult, but it's just like kind of I feel like there was just so much more uncertainty when I started the podcast. Yeah, man. But anyway, dude, it's not a big deal, episode 100. Fuck, dude, I'm gonna get the hiccups. I'm just gonna fucking ruin the whole podcast, dude. Right from the start. What's going on, dude? It's almost the end of April. If you're listening to this, I think it maybe already happened. And dude, people say time is flying. And to me, it feels like time encompasses so much. Like I talked to my brother about this, and he was like, dude, yeah, time is just fucking speeding by for me. And I was like, oh, really? Like, yeah, I don't know. He was like, it's not speeding by for you. And I was like, no, to me, it feels the opposite. To me, it feels like time is going by very slowly. And of course, my fucking brother, he's like, oh, so you feel like time is dragging for you? I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be a fucking negative, dude. Like, I just said time is going by very slowly. Slow doesn't mean bad, but dragging is like you can barely even stand up, dude. Somebody's got to drag you. Time isn't dragging for me, but fucking time, time just feels like, if I think back to even just January of this year, it's almost like it just feels like a different life, like thinking about Christmas when I spent Christmas with my brother and his girlfriend, that almost feels like it never happened. Uh and I don't know if there's a word for that, or I don't know, dude. Um but yeah, I remember like certain dates that I went on at the beginning of January that to me it's like, oh yeah, that was like a year ago. And then I think about it and I'm like, oh no, that was 3.5 months ago. Oh no, that was fucking, like 4 months ago or whatever, 8, 9 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago. Like, yeah, dude, I don't know. It just, it's maybe I'm like, maybe I create some kind of separation between me and the events to where I'm just like, all right, dude, this is over. Let's fucking get on with the show. But I don't even know if any of that makes sense, dude. But all I'm trying to say is that I can't even I can't even tell you how long I've been doing the podcast. I would have to sit down and think about it. And yeah, dude, yeah, it's just when I think about like the start of the last 2 years of my life, I think about driving my brother's car to therapy and to my Codependence Anonymous meeting, listening to Foxygen's Seeing Other People album, and just like finding my fucking footing again. Because dude, unless you've experienced it, you don't know what it's like to just fucking throw yourself into a relationship and in an unhealthy way, like in a uh very codependent way, and then have that relationship end, and you're all of a sudden you're just like, what is what is the point of any of this? You know? What is the point of having a job and living in Austin and being a writer and having a podcast? Like, I didn't have the podcast at that time, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're just like, what's the point of spending time with my friend? Like, just that feeling of despair. I would never wish that on anyone, dude. You know, um, you have to go through it. I'm not saying that I wish people could just like do the opposite, right? And start doing drugs and like fall into that fucking rabbit hole. But I remember when I was in Mexico City, man, I don't know. I don't think I talked about this, but one of the guys I met at my hostel, Rory, Rory Mason, a Scottish dude who was teaching Spanish, or sorry, teaching English in Mexico. And he and I got to talking about women and relationships. And I told him, like, yeah, dude, I just my ex-girlfriend and I broke up, like, I think at that point it had been like August, from early May to August, whatever that is. It's month 5 to month 8. It's like 3 months, dude. And so I was still really like down about it all. And he was like, "Oh, dude, there is no worse feeling in the world." Uh, and I just felt, dude, I just felt like he really got it, you know, like, because I think that is the worst feeling in the world, for maybe not for somebody that grew up with like healthy attachments and loving parents, but for everyone else, dude, when you just feel like you need another person to exist, and that person decides that it's not a fit for them anymore, dude, you just feel like you're garbage. Uh and you just feel like the worst, man. The worst thing in the world. Like I said, like how why does any of this matter? Um and I don't even know why I fucking started talking about this, dude. But yeah. I have a fucking list of things, dude. And then I'm always like, oh, I don't have time, and fucking spend 30 minutes just talking about like fucking Nazi host dudes. Uh, I haven't watched porn, dude. I haven't watched porn in like 2.5, 3 weeks, maybe. I haven't been keeping track. Uh, but I just haven't been watching it, dude. I just haven't been watching it. I've been going old school, dude, using my imagination, and it feels good. It feels good. It feels like less. I feel less compulsive. I I've also, and I've also noticed that I haven't had these sort of desires to meet up with men. Um, like it seems like it kind of, unless I'm in a relationship, it's hard to go 3 months without thinking of that and like becoming consumed by it for at least a week. And it hasn't happened yet. Um, and I'm not like, I'm not saying it'll never happen again. I'm not saying I'm expecting it to happen. I'm just, uh, yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. There's days where I feel like I'm on top of the world, dude, but not in a like cocky, like I'm the shit way. More in like a loving, compassionate, like, hey, dude, you're not this mess, dude. You're not this fuck up that, you've fought against for so long. Like you're not unstable. You're not fucking all these labels, all these fucking labels that have been sort of assigned to me, man. Um, whether it's by people that I depended on, man, or just um, people that I've met or myself, you know, like yeah, dude, just when the norm is that you call your mom and she says, "Are you sure you don't need medication?" Or like medication might help, you know. It's nothing against her. She's just trying to do the best she knows how. Uh, but dude, it's hard not to fucking, start to just hear all this. Your dad is like, why are you putting yourself through so much suffering, and aunts and uncles, like, just saying shit, man, that it's like, dude, the less time that I've spent sort of talking to those people, or just even just engaging with them, because some of the times it's not even talking, it's just like responding to a comment or a fucking Instagram message. It's like the less time that I've had those people in my mind, the more I start to realize, like, no, dude, you're not a fucking, like, it's all the way you look at it, you know? I could look at the last 6 years of my life in Austin and tell you the story of those 6 years the way that I used to, right? Which is like, year one, dude. Yeah, it was a lot of fucking terrible things happened to me, but it didn't feel that bad, right? Like my fucking roommate died of a heroin overdose or something with heroin, and got hit by cars and in all these accidents, and was prostituting myself at the time, and then cheated on some girlfriends. And it's like, I just because you've been through a lot and just because you've hurt people that you care about doesn't mean that you're like a fuck up, dude. It doesn't mean that you're like unstable, or it doesn't mean that you need to get like your shit together. All it means, dude, is that you're in a lot of pain, and you're really scared to face that. But I could also tell you that the last 6 years, man, I've put myself through a lot of difficult times, and I've prevailed. You know, I like there's a lot of things that I've made mistakes with, and there's a lot of like just fucking throwing myself into black holes hoping that I'm going to come out with very few people supporting me. And dude, I was talking to my therapist about it, and he was like, there's not many people that have the strength or the courage to really look at themselves, and really fucking just try to explore their inner world, dude. A lot of people, like close friends of mine, that it's like, oh well, I'm this religion, or I'm this identity, or I'm this thing. I am vegan. I am fucking I'm an athlete, or I'm Christian, or I'm a university student, right? Or I'm a pot smoker. Like, everybody has these identities. Yeah, everybody has these identities, and I've had some, but the more that I go through, the more that I realize, like, it's not really. I mean, it can help you orient yourself a little bit to say, like, oh well, I'm a writer. Writing is the thing that I'm good at, and that's what I do. And it can help you gain confidence. I'm not saying these things are not in any way, shape, or form helpful, but a lot of times we just get caught up in them, and and you know, it's like, oh well, this happened to me because the Lord was trying to send me a message, and it's like, well, really, was that why it happened, dude, or is it just that you've got some demons inside of you that you don't want to face, and they fucking manifested in this other way that you think was a message from the Lord. Um, and Yeah, dude, like I don't know, dude. I used to my well-being used to depend on whether or not I was writing. And nowadays it's so much more fluid, to the point where, you know, um like I could go 4 or 5 days without writing, and it doesn't change like my who I think that I am, or how I feel about myself. Like there's so many things that I want to do, right? I want to fucking start making YouTube videos. I want to start a new Instagram for just very different kind of content. A little bit more professional. I want to have some guests on this podcast that I've been afraid to reach out to. I want to write a Spanish book, dude. I have an idea for a Spanish book that I want to write. After this book that I'm finishing, I want to start writing articles on Medium again. I want to, there's so many things that I want to do, but it used to be that was my life. It used to be doing and being creative and fucking making things. That was what my life was about. And now I don't know what my life is about, dude, I know that I want to try to continue to grow because I've seen the impact that me working on myself has had on the people around me. And it's I want to do that. I want to continue being creative. I want to keep meeting people. I want to keep going on dates and meeting women, and maybe one day finding somebody that I want to be in a relationship with again, or just continue exploring the way that I've been doing. I want to, but I also just want to like spend time with myself, and I also just want to fucking read books and and just take it easy, man. Just take it easy. Yeah, there's just all this pressure, man. There's all this pressure that I used to have to fucking like I gotta keep doing this. I gotta keep doing this. I haven't worked more than 30 hours at a job in 3 years. And yeah, man, I don't know. I've just been reflecting a lot. I've just been reflecting, and I haven't watched porn, dude, in a few weeks. And it's like when you think you've done the things you need to grow, and you're like, what do I do now? How can I there's nothing I'm doing that's detrimental to my well-being. And then you're like, oh wait, what about this fucking compulsive need to masturbate and watch pornography, dude, at least once a day? And every time, dude, the pornography, you're just like, you search the same thing, but it's like there's only been one new video added to that search result, and it doesn't suit your fancy, so you're like fucking looking for darker shit. And then it starts to feed into, every other aspect of your life, dude. And I haven't done that, man. I haven't done that. And I'm not saying I'm never going to watch pornography again, but I'm just saying it feels good to not have done it. And it feels like, that's something I don't know. I have like so many, there's so many things that I'm like, or like telling my story in, dude. I have my fucking journal where I check in just with myself in written form. I have this podcast. I have my newsletter. I have friends. That's 4 different places where I tell the same stories. And so I don't know if I've said this already. It's hard to fucking keep track. But yeah, I've been thinking about just this idea of like never doing something again. And how fucking terrible it is to live that way. Dude, the way that you watch in movies, right? With Alcoholics Anonymous, there's a fucking recovering alcoholic in a movie, And they make a point that every time he goes to an event, somebody's like, "Hey, Doug, let me buy you a beer." And he's like, nah, I'm off the wagon. But you can tell that he wants a beer, and he's been fucking 6 years sober or something. And then 40 minutes into the movie, during like the fucking big moment, he takes one sip of a beer with his friends. He's like, all right. He takes a sip of a beer, and then he fucking loses his shit, right? And then he goes and has a fucking bender. And then it's like, oh, ends up fucking being all dramatic and whatnot, dude. And it's like, that's the story that we believe about just habits and about like trusting yourself, dude. It's like you can't if you have a problem with liquor, you will never drink liquor again, or you're gonna fuck your life up. And replace liquor with porn, sex, drugs, whatever, exercise. It doesn't matter. But I found, and this is just my experience, that it is so much more conducive to developing self-trust and self-confidence when you can say, all right, I'm going to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that's the exercise portion of my life. That's just what I'm going to do now. Right. And then 6 months in, you've been doing it. And then all of a sudden one day you're like, man, I don't feel like working out today. And then you hear that voice that's like, but if you don't work out, you're going to start slacking. Like the minute you start fucking giving yourself permission to rest, that's the minute that you start becoming a bitch, dude. Right? You hear it on Joe Rogan, David Goggins, all of these fucking guys. All of these guys. And they say, you got to conquer your inner bitch and you got to fucking blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, man, you're just a slave. At that point, you're just a slave to the thing that you're doing. Like whether it's recovery, right? Like, I think one of the reasons that it's not been very difficult for me to not smoke marijuana is that I told myself, and I think I'm pretty fucking sure that there's a podcast of me saying this. I told myself when I decided to stop, I told myself, someday I might fucking smoke a blunt again or a joint or take an edible or something, right? Like this is probably not going to be the end of the road for me. And so there's less pressure, right? Because if it's like, I'm never doing this again, then you're like, oh, well, why not? What happens if I do? What happens if I go to the grocery store and I buy 4 chocolate muffins when I told myself I don't want to eat garbage food anymore? Oh, well, there's the conquer your inner demon bitch thing that Joe Rogan and David Goggins would say, where it's like, the minute you buy those fucking 4 chocolate muffins, next time you go, you're going to think, oh, well, they taste good, and they're going to be in your mind and you're going to fucking buy more of them. And then you're going to develop the habit. Or, dude, you buy the 4 chocolate muffins and you eat them. And then you're like, oh, cool. Like, and then you go to the grocery store and you see them and you're like, oh yeah, those were some good chocolate muffins, but I don't really need to buy them twice in 2 weeks, in 2 consecutive grocery trips. And then you just keep walking. And that is you trusting yourself. That is you saying, I can buy these 4 chocolate muffins and trust myself that I'm not going to all of a sudden need to buy them every single time. I trust myself that I'm not going to take a day off of working out and then completely drop my workout habit or routine. I trust myself that I can fucking, if you're an alcoholic, dude, I trust myself that I can have one beer or two beers, or maybe even get drunk at my brother's wedding or whatever it is, dude. And then just like go back to sort of my recovery and blah blah blah. Like, I don't know, dude. I just think that it creates shame and it creates guilt and it creates this idea that, like, why am I thinking about eating chocolate muffin? Why am I thinking about taking a day off? It's like, maybe you just need the rest. Maybe you just need to give yourself permission to be a little bit loose. You know, insert a little bit of wild into your life again. But don't be so rigid. You know, don't be so fucking rigid, man. Um, and it's so easy to fall into the rigidity. It's so easy because it gives you the sense that that you have control, right? You make a to-do list at the end of every day for your next day, and then you wake up and you're like, okay, I know exactly everything that I'm going to do, so I don't have to worry about found time, because found time means that I'm going to be with myself and my thoughts, and then what do I do if I'm with my, uh, or it just creates this idea that, like, I'm good because I haven't missed a day. And I think it's kind of backwards, man. It just teaches you the wrong lessons. Um, and at the same time, you have to be mindful, and, like, if you're trying to build a habit, like, in the beginning stages, like, try to push yourself a little bit, but be kind, right? If you wake up with a migraine one day and you don't want to exercise because you just feel like shit, instead of saying, like, "Oh, I'm a pussy, dude. I'm pussying out after 1 month," maybe say, "Oh, why do I have a migraine? Or why do I feel sort of off today? Why?" Check in with how you feel, dude, instead of fucking punishing yourself for feeling that way and working out anyway, or not working out but feeling like a failure because you're not working out. Right, dude? Like, this Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove is a book by Larry McMurtry. It's a Western, a 960-page Western. And I read The Last Picture Show, and I talked about it on the podcast. I read his other book, The Last Picture Show, and I loved it. So I was like, what else has this guy written? Turns out he won a Pulitzer Prize for writing Lonesome Dove. And I was like, oh wow. I don't really care about the Pulitzer Prize. I mean, it's cool that he got it, but, like, I looked the book up and it looked really good. But then I saw that it was 960 pages long. And I said, oh, well, according to my reading schedule on fucking Goodreads, I'm only one book ahead of schedule. And most of the books I read are about 300 pages on average, which means if I read a 960 page book, dude, I'm just realizing that I already talked about this, man. This was this was one of the clips, dude, that I shared on Instagram. What the fuck, man? But I mean, just to finish the thought, man, I was so afraid to give myself permission to do what I wanted, which was like, oh, like, instead of saying you can't read this book because otherwise you're not going to reach your goal, right? You can't take the day off because you just started this habit, you pussy. Instead of saying that, I said, oh, why are you feeling this way? Or why do you want to read this book so much? It's like, oh, well, I have the curiosity. I want to know what reading a 1,000-page book is like. Um, and just don't lose sight of, why did you set your goal in the first place? Did you set your, did you say, I want to start meditating 30 minutes 3 times a week because you wanted to feel like shit about yourself, and because you wanted to torture yourself and disconnect from yourself even more by creating shame and guilt and just fucking misery? Or are you just trying to introduce a little bit uh, of self care time into your week? And if one week you do 2 days instead of 3, it's okay. It's fucking okay, dude. Your parents aren't gonna hate you for it. Your parents aren't gonna fucking parents aren't here anymore, dude. Your teachers aren't here anymore. It's okay. You can do what you want to do. Just fucking do what you want to do, man. Um, and I haven't watched porn in a couple of weeks, dude. And that is all that I'm saying. Um, yeah, man, dude, I'm just tired today. I'm just fucking tired today. And I went to, here's the thing, man. I'm tired today, and I'm also let down because I got an ad on my Instagram for a card club in Austin called One Time Card Club. You know, one time, dude. In poker, there's this saying like you always everybody gets there one time. In a tournament, everybody gets there one time. The one time, dude, you use the one time when you're like you need one or two cards from the deck to be dealt on the river in order to win the hand, or you're eliminated. And you're just like, dude, one time. Come on, dude. Come on, poker gods. One time. Give me the 2-outer. And then the ace hits on the river and you just, woo! You jump up, dude, and you're so excited. And you're saved. The odds were not in your favor, but luck happened. And so that's what they named the fucking card club after. And I messaged the people on Instagram because I got an ad pop up and it said, we have cash games and we have free roll tournaments. And I was like, oh, fuck. And so I messaged with this person on the Instagram thing, and they're like, yeah, come on down this weekend. And so today, dude, I go there. It's a Sunday. I go to the card club. I ride my bike, dude. I ride my fucking bike in 90 degrees of sunlight at 5:30 p.m. in the spring in Texas. And I get there and I'm the first person there. And there's like 4 poker tables and a full bar and like a dog limping and 2 waitresses and a guy in a tuxedo. And he fucking explains to me everything. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to hang out here for a while and see if some people show up. He's like, all right, cool. So I read, and then a couple people show up. And I was there to play the tournament, right? $20 tournament to sort of dip my feet back in the water. Haven't played poker since 2019. And of course, dude, nobody fucking shows up. 6 people show up, and it's only for a cash game. And the cash game, they charge you $12 an hour to sit at the table plus a $10 membership fee. So you got to pay at least $22, and that's if you want to play 1 hour. And then you got to add $12 per every hour on top of that. And I'm just like, dude, I can't. I went bowling yesterday and I went to a barbecue place. I spent $50 in one day. I can't spend $22 just to sit at a poker table right now with a minimum $100 stack with blinds at $1 and $2. I can't do that right now, dude. It doesn't even sound fun to know that I need to win enough money to counteract the loss of $12 an hour. And so I just hung out for like 10 minutes watching them play. And dude, they fucking splashed the pot, man. Dude, first pot was like $25. Second pot was like $98. Third pot was like $350. Fourth pot, just like, dude. No, it just made me want to leave, man. And it just bummed me out, dude. I was like excited to play poker again, and it's like, fuck, okay. So I rode my bike home again, dude, in the same weather. And now I'm just fucking tired, dude. And I ate a little bit of steak watching Shark Tank. And now I'm just tired, dude. But speaking of watching things, dude, I watched this movie with Mads Mikkelsen called Riders of Justice. Fucking one of the best movies I've seen in the last 3 years. One of the best foreign language films I've ever seen. It's a Danish movie about a military man, Mads Mikkelsen, who loses his wife in a train accident. And then this guy that was on the train at the same time as her finds Mads Mikkelsen and he says, I think you have the right to know that train collision, explosion, whatever it wasn't an accident. And then the movie just fucking kicks off, right? This military man, he's like, what do you mean it wasn't an accident? And it's like, it turns out that these gang members were blah, blah, blah. And dude, it's like John Wick, but for like reality, you know? It's John Wick, but real, like a dramatic John Wick. And it's so funny because there's so much mention of psychology in the movie. And I wasn't expecting it to do that. I was expecting this to be like just John Wick, the Danish version, with better acting, right? But dude, there's like a character that was abused by his uncle and his dad, and Mads Mikkelsen is like threatening that he's gonna break his nose because he's getting angry at him. And then he starts chasing the guy, and the guy just runs out into a pasture, dude, a field of grass. And he bends over and he fucking takes his pants off. And he just bends over, dude, bare ass. And his bare ass is facing Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen is like, what the fuck? Like, he just doesn't know what to do. And the guy's like, just fuck me, dude. Just fuck me. Like, I'm sorry. Here, just have me. And just every character in the movie is talking about their trauma and why they are the way they are, and how you can fix that and how you can heal yourself. And I was just like, dude, am I watching a fucking movie version of my favorite books? Is this a nonfiction book turned into a movie? With the fucking the bare bones of John Wick as the skeleton to draft it on. And dude, it's just so fucking great. And it's funny because I was watching it with this girl that I've been going on dates with, and she, like, there's this scene, dude, where Mads Mikkelsen and two of his, like, the two guys that are helping him find all of these gang members, they're walking into a building, but they're at the door, and one of the gang member cars pulls up because they found them, and they just fucking start shooting them up. But Mads Mikkelsen catches this in time. He fucking takes his two friends down on the ground. They hide behind a car. A van pulls up on the other side of them. It flanks them. A guy gets out of the van with a machine gun, aims it at Mads Mikkelsen. It jams. Mads Mikkelsen, dude, starts running. He starts fucking running, dude, as they're shooting at him from a different direction toward another guy that's holding a machine gun. Toward him, he fucking clocks him in the face, takes the machine gun from him, hits it, dude. It unjams, and then he fucking blows his fucking head off. Turns, dude, like a military, like he's holding the gun, dude, and then like one little swift movement, shoots the driver in the van, dude. His head explodes, and then he just fucking like peeks, dude. He fucking peeks, shoots another guy, dude. He takes down like eight fucking gang members in 1 minute. And his friends are just like, the fuck? There's glass shards flying over their heads. Completely vulnerable. His two friends, grown adults, and he just takes charge of the situation and kills 8 fucking gang members by himself, like it was just like fucking like eating a chocolate muffin for me, you know, just like just easy peasy, dude. And as soon as that scene ended, I paused the movie. This is how annoying it is to watch movies with me. I pause the movie to ask a question. At least I don't talk over the movie. You know, I pause the movie and I turn to her and I say, "Can I ask you a question? A weird question?" And she's like, "Sure." And I say, "When you watch that scene just now, as a woman, does that do anything for you? Like, does that do anything for you? You know what I mean?" And she was like, "No, it doesn't." And it's just like, okay. And then we moved on, right? And then after the movie, we talked about it, and I was just, I'm sure there's women who it does do something for, but dude, just seeing him fucking, you know, just seeing him turn that situation around made me feel like more of a man. You know what I mean, dude? Seeing Mads Mikkelsen with a gray beard, Mads Mikkelsen is turning into Liam Neeson. That's what's happening, is that Mads Mikkelsen was a dramatic actor. He still kicks ass. He's still a fucking top-notch actor. But now, dude, he's turning into fucking Liam Neeson, dude. And just seeing him just fucking running toward a man that's holding a machine gun, clocking him in the face, and then unjamming it, and then fucking spatial awareness of where all his threats are, hides behind the car, dude. He's holding an M4 or like an M10 or something. And it was just like, dude, I felt more of a man as I was watching that. And I was like, yeah, dude, fucking yeah, dude. Like, it made me want to lose my wife and then be a military person with gun training so that I can go do that and feel what he felt in that moment for myself. Like, how fucking badass must you feel knowing that you can take out 8 gang members, dude, 8 people trained in violence, whose life is just violence every day, and take eight of them out when they ambush you, dude. Not even just like you ambushing them, but when they ambush you. And dude, we just started talking about like this book that I was reading called When Violence is the Answer, and she read a book called The Gift of Fear. And it's like, and I told her, like, what it does for me is just that I fantasize of becoming the man that Mads Mikkelsen is in this movie, without the fucking emotional issues that he has, but just the protective training. And I told her, you know, like, if somebody fucking just busted through my apartment door right now, because we were watching this movie in my apartment, if somebody just busted through my apartment door, I don't want to be the kind of guy who is like, who turns to the woman he's with, and is like, did you hear that? And then in the 2 seconds that it takes me to ask that question, the person who busted through my front door busts through my bedroom door and is like, get your fucking hands off this, and now all of a sudden I'm just fucking helpless, you know? I want to be Mads Mikkelsen, dude. And when I hear I hear the fucking front door. Just even before I hear the front door, maybe out of the corner of my eye, from my window, my bedroom window, through the blinds, I see a shadowy figure just cross the blinds. And as soon as I see that dude, I get up and I fucking sprint for the front door. And then it's just like the door fucking smashes in. The guy walks in, maybe with a bat or a fucking machine gun or whatever, and I'm already there, dude. I'm already at the front door, and I fucking take the gun from him, fucking smash his head in, pop, 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 fucking blow his brains out, dude. That's not what I was telling her. Was like, take the gun from him, dude, and then just aim it at him. Maybe not fucking kill him, right? Like, I would want to be the kind of person that could just diffuse the situation and then be like, all right, you want to fucking go, dude? Like, you want to fucking go? That's the kind of guy that I want to be, dude. I just want to know what to do in violent situations, you know? Like, I want to be the first guy that is at a fucking like mass shooting, but is so fucking aware that he diffuses it before it starts. Or maybe like one person gets killed, but I'm the guy that, fucking rushes the shooter and just takes him down, dude. And then they're like, the fucking reporters are like, well, yeah, it seemed like he had, enough ammunition to wipe out the entire grocery store, but thankfully one man saved them all. And then they turned the camera to me and they're like, Nicholas, can you tell us what was going through your mind as you were when you saw the shooter walking in? Well, I just thought, the safety of those around me is more important than the fear that I'm feeling right now. And in those situations, you have a split second where you can decide what you're going to do, or you become a helpless victim. And I decided I didn't want to become that, so I rushed the man, and thank God that I did, because just fucking be one of those guys, dude. Just be one of those guys, dude, that just fucking like that makes you feel like less of a man because of how fucking much of a man he is. But all that to say, dude, that this movie, Riders of Justice, fucking great, dude. It's funny. It's got some of the best action I've seen in recent times. And it's just like the best kind of revenge movie. The best kind of revenge movie, dude. And dude. Yeah, man. And dude, I what else, man? What else have I fucking done, dude? The owner, dude, at my boss, he fired his other like pillar. He's got me at the fucking gelato place, and then he had another guy at his kitchen, and we were like the two pillars that he was building these businesses around. He fired the other pillar. And dude, that guy was like, I worked with him once. And after that, we only crossed paths when he came over to my truck to sort of pick out stuff for his truck. But just working with him once, I was like, this guy needs help, man. This guy needs help, because I would be working with him and he would just be making food, and he would be like, yeah, just you think that you're just fun, you shut up, you speaking like gibberish, dude, to himself or to a wall. But I was like, all right, dude, I just started here, just don't be a dick, dude, don't be judgmental. But I knew this guy needed help, and he works 6 days a week. 9 to 10 to 11-hour shifts. This is basically his life was working there. And he lived at one of the owner's house property things. So he was like fully dependent on this man. And he got fired and he got kicked out because he just started deteriorating, you know? His mental health started going down the drain, dude. And so he got fired. And then the dude, my boss came into my work one day and he said, yeah, I fired him. And then he said, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. And I called the police, and the police came. And as the police arrived, he drove away. And then he drove back and he rolled his window down. And the police were there and he was there. And he said, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. And so maybe lock the door when you're working here now. And I said, what? Lock the door, dude? And then what? There's not a peephole, dude. If somebody knocks on the door, what do? Do I just not open it? If somebody fucking knocks on the door, do I climb out the window and go around to see who it is and then climb back through when I see that it's somebody that's safe and open the door for them? And what if he does show up, dude? What if he shows up with a fucking handgun and he is so off his meds that he thinks I'm you? You know, do I just continue working at this place for fucking an hourly wage, dude? With the potential that I'm gonna die? Is that what you're saying? You know, dude, like I didn't say this to him, but this was what was going through my mind was like, this is the exact kind of story you hear of somebody before they go commit a serial killing, dude. And it wasn't until I talked to fucking Darcy, dude. He works at one of the other trucks in that same lot. And he came over and he said, hey, man, do you know what happened to Eddie? And I said, yeah, he got let go. And he said, oh, that answers some of my questions. And he said, yeah, I hung out with Eddie once outside of work. And, you know, he came to my house and like, you know, if you're at my house, dude, you can like drink beers and smoke weed, but he pulled out some shit and I was like, hey man, not here. That's not cool here. And I think ever since then, he like thought that I was mad at him or something. But man, he needs some help. You know, I'm going to message him and try to get him to check into like the Shoal Creek Hospital or something. And I was like, and I was telling him basically like, yeah, dude, I'm more worried about him fucking coming here and like, you know, fucking shooting me down, dude, or something. And he was like, no. I don't think you need to worry about that, man. Eddie, he doesn't know anyone in Austin. He wouldn't know where to even find a gun, dude. And in my mind, I'm like, Darcy, but there's Walmart. Hey, Darcy, but there's Walmart, dude. You know? Does he know what Walmart is? Because if he does, dude, he can get a gun. Hey, but Darcy, there's Walmart, dude. But I don't know. Something about talking to Darcy just sort of humanized Eddie for me. And I was like, you know, he said, I'm more worried about Eddie hurting himself. And that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, I'm making this about me, dude. And, you know, it's true. You know, I want to be safe and I want to not be a fucking idiot and make sure that I can be safe, dude. This sounds like a dangerous situation, but at the same time, this man just lost his house and his job. And I believe he's fucking not even documented, dude. So, you know, he's basically this guy is the Joker. And So yeah, dude. So yeah, I don't know, man. Um, Hopefully, dude, it doesn't happen. I don't think that it will after talking to Darcy. I feel a little bit more calm, but but yeah, dude, those are just some of the underpinnings of my stress these days. Is that an old coworker of mine, a now ex coworker of mine, is the Joker, and and yeah, I know Darcy. He doesn't have friends here, and maybe he doesn't have any contacts that can provide him with weaponry. But hey, Darcy, does he know what Walmart is? Because if he does, he can buy a machine gun and come take us both out. But Darcy was like, "Yeah, if he ever comes around, dude, you take my number down. I'll come over here, man. I'll come over here, dude. Don't hesitate to call me, dude. If you see him here." And I just by default was like, "Yeah, man, same." Like I'm gonna fucking, dude. I just watched a movie with Mads Mikkelsen where I felt like a man because I watched another man kill men, and I'm like, "Yeah, same, dude." Like, uh, but it's kind of true, dude. If I saw fucking Eddie come up, or if I got a call from Darcy and he was like, "Yo, dude, Eddie just showed up at the truck, dude. You know what's that?" I would go over there. I would go over there, dude, with a knife. I would put the knife behind my back, and I would walk over there, and I would just see. I would just use my eyes. I would use my eyes to see what's happening, and assess, dude, assess, but don't attack. Just assess. I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck. I'm just tired, dude, and I haven't watched porn in a few weeks. I'm just tired and I haven't watched porn in a few weeks, and that is the pupil's life for the start of May, dude. And it'll be 2 years officially since I've been single, man. And I don't even know why I said that just now. Because I'm fucking tired, dude. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening to The Pupil's Life. Thank you all for being here. And thank you all for being queer. If you are interested in some of the shit I was talking about, with like not shaming yourself with exercise and just like sort of taking care of yourself, dude. If you're interested in taking care of yourself, or if you're interested in writing, I send out a newsletter where I talk about those things, and I send it out once a week. Um, I try to send it out once a week. Sometimes it's less. And that you can find at sendfox.com/NIKOAGF. That's sendfox.com/NIKOAGF. Thank you all for listening to The Pupil's Life. I will see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.